Welcome everybody. This is my version of uninstalling and reinstalling Flutter, Xcode, and Android Studio. So right now I'm going through and I'm deleting the Xcode app. After that I'll scroll up and I will delete the Android app. Sorry, Android Studio. These some additional command lines to do some additional cleanup. So here I just created a file, inserted all the commands, and then I sourced the file, and it's executing the commands in the background. So now I'm going to go to the Flutter website and go for the installation documentation. I'm going to go through and I'm going to download the Mac version of the Flutter SDK. Just scrolling through here, checking out some other commands. Flutter Doctor is a very important command. Alternative downloads, path updates, Xcode setup. Although I'm not going to use this Xcode setup, I'm going to go directly to the Apple Store and download Xcode from there. Okay, so now the zip file has been downloaded. I try this command and it doesn't work. And I'm just going to go ahead and skip ahead and going to unzip the zip file. Once I get this unzipped, this is the files that are inside of it. I'm just going to go ahead and move it to my home directory. Now this is being installed on a Mac Mini with an M1 processor. This Mac Mini is probably 2-3 months old. Right before they came out with the Mac Studio. I wish I would have waited for the Mac Studios. They came out about 2-3 weeks after I bought this Mac Mini. Now I execute the export path to make sure that the Flutter SDK is in my path. If it's valid, then you can enter Flutter Doctor, and it will give you some analysis of your Flutter installation. So here it goes through and it checks everything. It checks for the Android Studio and it checks for the Xcode. Neither one is installed, so both of them failed. So I will tackle the easiest one first, and that is going to be the Android SDK. Just going through here to see if I find any more pertinent information that I want to use here, or go off to another location to do the rest of the installs. So I know this is going to be the long tent in the pole. I'm going to go ahead and start the download from the Xcode from Apple Store. This overall probably takes about 40 minutes. So as soon as you get a chance, I'd start downloading that. big fan of Brew. Did a Brew install of the Android SDK. Once we get this installed, we'll go off and install the Android Studio. I also install Android Studio through Reinstall. Typically, I do go back to the website to go ahead, Android Studio website to download it, but I'm just taking the command line version option this time. Probably going to get a little bit of some background noise here. My air conditioner's kicked in, and I don't have a audio filter to filter that out. So here I'm just going to copy the path just in case I need it later. I'm not going to end up using that path later. Just good information. So I'm going to go ahead and launch my Android Studio, and I'm going to go ahead and create my first project. I never send information to the back end. So going through here, it didn't recognize my Brew install of the Android SDK, so I'm just going to go ahead and reinstall it here. Yeah, you have to accept both licenses for this to complete. Just a little bit of details. I grab a path out of here for future reference. However, I don't use it in the future, but it's good to know where information is being installed. Now that Android Studio is officially up and running, I'm going to check my plugins, make sure my Dart plugin is installed. If it's not, go ahead and install it. I'm also going to check for the Flutter plugin, make sure it's installed. These are probably not installed, but since I didn't do a complete cleanup, it's probably a leftover, but you get the gist here. So this is surprising. I got this error message about a TV 12.1 Gradle plugin. Now, first thing you do, or I did, is I go back to the Flutter Doctor, double check, make sure everything's there. It's still complaining about my Android. Forgot to so I'm going through and checking this, and you do this Well, I do this install about once a year, and I totally forget. So I Google the answer. So you go in and make sure everything's updated. This is an error message from the error whenever I tried to create it. So here you'll go to the SDK manager, go to your SDK tools. I'll eventually figure that out. And then SDK tools, Jim. Okay, double checking the website, and it says clearly to go click on the command line tools. So here I select that. Okay, it installs it. Go back, double check my Flutter Doctor after that install of the command line tools for the Android SDK. And I should have resolved one issue, but I still have more issues to resolve. So the Android Studio has one more issue to resolve, and that's to accept the Android license. So just copy and paste that, press enter, go through, and just answer yes to all the questions. Okay, now if I was to do a Flutter Doctor again, all of Android would be fine. But I'm going to go ahead and launch Android Studio. I'm going to try to create just an Android, and I'm still getting the error. Go back to Flutter Doctor, everything looks good. So in the background, I'm doing a little bit of Google searching, and I eventually resolve this, and I resolve it by turning off the TV 12.1 Gradle plugin. So hopefully this is when I go turn off the Gradle plugin. As I'm poking around, I see that there needs to be an update. You would think that they would list the updates at the top, but they don't. So I'll scroll down until I find the updatable plugin, which is Kotlin. I'll go ahead, install it. And with the permissions nowadays, I just go ahead. I'm sort of shooting in the dark, maybe thinking that it just doesn't have permission to my hard drive. So I'm just going to grant Android Studio full access to my machine. So the easiest is to go find the Studio. So at that point, I did a command click, and it pulled up the applications directory, and from there I just drag and drop the application into the list. So now I should have eliminated all file access issues. Being a little redundant there, but that's okay. Now that I got the app to load or create, I'm going to create an emulator. So I'm going to select, I believe it's going to be the Pixel 2. I'm just going to go in and install it on 31. Take that back 32. Okay, my Xcode is downloaded. Going to install it. Xcode's up and running. Going to quit, deal with that later. Let's finish the emulator and get the Android version of Flutter to work. Okay, here I'm going to increase the internal storage. Don't know too many phones that come with 2 gig of memory. So I increased it to 12. Now if I launch this using this emulator, we should have a working program. Got an arrow on the right hand side, but that's okay. I believe I selected the wrong emulator, so either way that emulator worked. So press the button. This is the standard Flutter out of the box app. So now that we finished the Android application, let's see if we can get it to compile and run with iOS. So back to Flutter Doctor after installing Xcode. Make sure everything looks good. Flutter Doctor says everything looks good. -v is a verbose command. Give you a little bit more details. It shows you where your installation paths are. So let's just do a new project, Flutter. We're not going to do an Android this time. We're just only going to do iOS. We will start the iOS simulator. We'll give it a chance to launch or to boot up. And with any luck, we will get this to install. On a 3rd generation iOS phone running version 15.5. Now, all in all, from the uninstall all the way to this installation, this took 56 minutes, but through video editing, this is only going to be a 20-minute video. So good luck. Comments if you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, or questions about installation. Thank you for watching.